What's up, everybody? Just doing a quick video, some quick thoughts on a few things that have come out recently. Maybe you're interested in picking them up, maybe even curious. Hope this helps you out. First up, Torment from Unearthed Films. This is the first of their Too Extreme for Mainstream line. It's about John Wayne Gacy, the killer clown. Small synopsis, let me read it to you real quick. Based on the John Wayne Gacy murders, a young man wakes up after a one-night stand and finds himself in the clutches of one of the most notorious serial killers to ever stalk the earth. There's only 3 people in this movie, which is fine. There's no dialogue until the end. I wasn't a big fan of it. I really wanted to like it. I'm not somebody who can rattle off all kinds of information about Gacy. I just know some basic stuff. I really thought maybe what they were going to do was go with what I know of his first victim, and I knew there were 3 people in it, so maybe first victim and then something with the second one. His first victim he stabbed. There is a stabbing in this. That is the first person who dies, but from what I know of Gacy, he has somebody back at the house after picking him up. They stay, and he makes him breakfast in the morning. Goes to Gacy's room with a knife. Gacy wakes up, realizes he's got a knife. Kid wasn't thinking. Gacy attacks him, takes the knife, stabs him to death, realizes that the kid was just making him breakfast. And that's it. That's what I know of Gacy. This starts that way. Somebody wakes up in the house, he's wandering around, but then he's just like looking through stuff, looking stuff to steal. Then he comes across this room. I think he finds the key for it because it was locked, and there's a guy in there tied up. Gacy wakes up, and it goes from there. There's a lot of sexual assault in the movie and rape, which Gacy did, so I knew that was coming. It wasn't a shock. I just think that they could have changed a few things, done a little bit more, at least with Gacy's first killing, because that was a stabbing, and the rest were mostly strangulations and suffocations, I believe. Even with the first killing, if they had, okay, not the main actor they have show up first, but the one who's already tied up, even if they have him reenact making Gacy breakfast and then getting stabbed to death, and I think he gets buried in the yard. Just do that, and then okay, you do something else with the other guy in terms of the continued assaults and the suffocation. Okay, I probably would have enjoyed it more, but not a terrible film. Worth seeing once for sure. It was very limited. It sold on pre-orders only, and Unearthed pressed, I'm guessing, 1,000, and what didn't get sold has gone to Diabolic DVD and Grindhouse Video Tampa. If you are interested, go there to get it. Don't go to eBay because of the nature of how limited this was. I think I've seen used copies going on there for like $60, double the price. So, Diabolic DVD, Grindhouse Video if interested. Me, I'll probably watch it again at some point, but I'll let it sit with the collection for a while. Like 2.5 out of 5 for me. I think it could have been a lot better. Also from Unearthed, The Dark Side of the Moon. This one I kind of remembered renting. It's from 1990. It was just really hard to remember everything. I just remembered that Lloyd from The Shining, the bartender, was in it. That I remembered. It's also funny that it takes place in 2022, which in 1990 is so far away. And now we're just three years away from that. This is Unearthed Classics line. It's the second release. The first was The Unnameable. The only thing I was surprised about initially when I took it out of the box was that it was a slipcover. The Unnameable was a slip box. Not a big deal. I just figured it'd be a slip box too. But slipcover. Fine by me. It's not an Alien ripoff either. I couldn't remember. I tried to remember, but no, it's not. I'll read you the synopsis again. It's the year 2022. The spaceship Space Corps 1 is on a routine rehab mission chasing down and repairing nuclear satellites in Earth's orbit. Suddenly, a mysterious system failure causes the craft to drift helplessly and head on a crash course towards the dark side of the moon. Rapidly running out of fuel and oxygen, the crew is surprised to observe an old NASA space shuttle approaching fast. Upon boarding the shuttle, they find that something sinister is afoot. One by one, the crew are possessed and killed by an evil presence they have unwillingly unleashed until only one of them remains. It's now up to the sole survivor to discover the mysterious link between the dark side of the moon, the Bermuda Triangle, and the devil himself. It's written by the Hayes brothers, who did The Conjuring, and starring Robert Sampson from The Reanimator, Alan Blumfield from Heroes, John Deal from Stargate and Stripes, and featuring the final film appearance from Joe Turkel from The Shining and Blade Runner. "91 minutes. So, nice hour and a half. Really, really enjoyed this. It says that it's not an Alien ripoff, it's more of a possession film. And I think it was really well done. As they're drifting and running out of oxygen, they see the old spaceship. They attach, they board it, and they find somebody in there who is dead. They see he's dead. Take him back on the ship, and he's actually the one that is possessed, which you can see by the green eyes and on the cover. They have a computer system that's actually an animatronic robot woman who's sitting there, and you ask it the questions and whatnot. The name is escaping me. I'm sorry. It's like 5:30 in the morning right now. I'm doing this. But supposedly the space shuttle that they find crash landed back on Earth with 2 of the 3 crew members found and 1 missing. The one that missing is obviously the one that they have on their spaceship now. But obviously they're saying it crashed down in the Bermuda Triangle. And why is it in space? So the possession starts to take over them, and some good graphic bloody kills. And of course, as everything is happening, couldn't have been the guy that they found on the spaceship. He's dead. As things start happening to the crew, fingers getting pointed at each other, so it turns into a little bit of chaos between the crew because nobody trusts each other. Very well done, in my opinion, and I really enjoyed it. This slipcover is limited. Don't know how limited. I believe, I shouldn't even say it, but I think the Unnameable might have been 2,000 copies with the slip box. I'm assuming it's the same for this, because it's the classic line. It does have a 2 on the spine. I don't know if it's focusing on that or not. But slipcover, not a slip box this time. I would definitely recommend it. This one is a little bit easier to access. It wasn't a pre-order thing like Torment. This one you can get all over the place. Diabolic, Grindhouse, Amazon deep discount, Best Buy probably. This one's all over the place. Um, yeah, definitely pick it up. I give this one 3.5 out of 5 for sure. It also comes with a 24-page booklet, which I haven't even looked at yet. So, highly recommended this one. Next up, V from Severin. I was so excited that they were releasing this. Came out during their Memorial Day sale. Well, it was up for pre-order Memorial Day sale. Came out kind of recently. People have been getting them over the past few weeks. Some people still haven't gotten them. It's coming. They're just shipping a little slow. Slipcover limited to 1,500 copies. There will be a regular standard Blu-ray release. They said towards the end of the year. Didn't say exactly when, but towards the end of the year. I would recommend picking this up once that regular release comes out. If you're dying for a slipcover, you're going to have to resort to eBay. Try a Facebook group. There are some buying and selling ones out there. You'd be surprised sometimes what people are trying to get rid of stuff for. I lost my train of thought. I do believe this is on Shudder right now. I don't have Shudder, but I believe I did see that flying around that this is on Shudder, which I would assume is the transfer that is on this. It's a 1967 film, so I'm assuming it's this transfer and not a copy from 50 years ago. It's a folk witchcraft vampire film for its time. The special effects they did, there's a flying scene, there's a scene that somebody, the same character, there's 3 doors lined up and he comes out of each door. You can see the special effects, you can see with the background and everything like that. It's a special effect, but overall, really not bad. Picture quality looks great, and slipcover is very nice looking. That's without the slip. I'm assuming that'll be the art when it comes out, but I'll read you the synopsis real quick. Some quotes at the top first. Okay. In the 19th century Russia, a seminary student is forced to spend 3 nights with the corpse of a beautiful young witch. But when she rises from the dead to seduce him, it will summon a nightmare of fear, desire, and the ultimate demonic mayhem. Bursting with startling imagery and stunning practical effects by director Konstantin Yursov and Georgy Kropatchev. I'm sure I said those completely wrong. This overlooked classic has influenced generations of directors for more than half a century and is still unlike any horror you've ever seen. Also at the top, something of interest, based on the classic novella by Nikolai Gogol and previously adapted by Mario Bava as Black Sunday. So I know that you are familiar with Black Sunday. So 77 minutes. This is also region free. Let me show you the back too. That's the back. I thought it was really good. You have these guys, 3 guys from a seminary, like wandering the countryside. It's like they were allowed to go on vacation or something. It was kind of interesting in the beginning. By the way, the film is in Russian with English subtitles. There is an English track, but I didn't do the English track. I did the Russian with the English subtitles. Anyway, they're going through the countryside. It's nighttime. They come across a farmhouse. Old woman is there. She lets them in, makes them stay in different places, and the main actor, she torments him a little bit, and turns out that she's a witch, and she looks like she's like 80 something years old. Anyway, they take a flight, which was pretty cool, like I said, with the special effects for the time. It looked really good. And once they come back down, he beats her to death, just about. And as he's beating her, all of a sudden she turns into this young, beautiful girl. And with that, he sees that and runs away. After going back to the seminary, he's summoned back to that house by the girl by that name, but the father is the one that summons him because she named him. So she is dead when he gets there, and he is asked by the father, well, told by the father, he needs to pray for her soul for 3 nights. And every night he locks him in this house or church, barn, it's something. Just the 2 of them. And every night she wakes up and she's trying to get to him. He draws a circle on the ground to try to protect himself, which works. And each night she's doing different things to try to get in there until the final night. Which the cover of this, everybody there, and the back come into play. Don't want to give it all away, but great folk horror. It's from 1967. You gotta remember that when you're watching this too. It was really, really well done. I really, really enjoyed this movie. I knew about it for a long time. I'd never seen it. Definitely recommend picking this up. I give this one 4 out of 5. I really, really enjoyed this one. Definitely pick that up. Last one. Dead Pit. Yep, I picked it up. I love Code Red. I hate what's going on with Code Red. If you follow me on Instagram, I pick things up you probably know for A Fistful of Horrors time to time. This came out on July 4th. We knew it was coming at some point. I think he messaged me, it was probably midnight in the UK, and said that they posted a while ago that it's going live. So I started paying attention to my phone at that point, even though I was very drunk. And I kind of got lucky. I jumped on the site. It was still down. What else is new? Refreshed a couple times and it popped up. It's way overpriced and would have charged shipping as well for 1 copy. So I enjoy the movie. I wanted it anyway, so I bought it. Also got the free shipping because I bought it. The cover does glow. I don't know exactly why. They pat themselves on the back for that, because this has been around for 20 years or so. It's super, super high gloss, so I have it in something to not get fingerprints on it. There's no reason to make it super high gloss like that. Grindhouse releasing did the Beyond. I think the Cat in the Brain might glow too. But the Beyond I know for sure glows. That's kind of like a matte finish and all that stuff. There's no reason they couldn't do that. That was also a 3-disc release. I think that was $30, and this was $34.99 for a single disc release. And also, what really annoyed me about this is the DVD release had a decent amount of special features, audio commentaries, special effects, special features. This only ports over on-camera interviews. 1, 2, 3, I think there's 4 on-camera interviews, and I think a trailer. It didn't include a lot of the extra stuff. There's no commentaries. I don't understand that. It's a Code Red release. It's not licensed from somewhere else. There's no reason they couldn't have been ported over to this. Picture quality, it looks good. Throughout the whole film, it looks good. The sound, it really annoyed me in a couple different spots. About 4 or 5 spots. One happens like right away at the beginning of the film. The voices are crackling, and if you hear somebody on the radio and then when they're too close to the microphone, they're not popping it, but when they say words with S at the end or different letters and whatnot, it's, it gets like crackly and like hissy, like if there was a uh, yeah, I'm just trying to think of something to say to go with it, but basically anything that ends with an S, it's something with an S is the whole thing is sounding like that for a short time, maybe 5 to 10 seconds, but it happens 4 or 5 times throughout the movie. It just comes out of nowhere. So it's like, why is that happening? Why wasn't that fixed? So that really annoyed me. Um, and then the special features. I know I had seen something that they said, oh, we want it to be, its own special release, so it didn't port everything over. Like, that's just lazy. That's not, oh, we're making it its own special release. No, that's just lazy. So if you're looking for picture quality, it looks good. If you know nothing about this film, I'll read the synopsis like I did everything else. Dr. Ramsey, a deviant who enjoys torturing his patients, is killed by a fellow doctor and buried in the basement of a mental health facility. 20 years later, the hospital is up and running again, and a Jane Doe arrives at the institute with amnesia. Upon her arrival, a major earthquake rocks the building and unearths the now undead Dr. Ramsey and his legion of zombie patients so he can continue his work. The main actress is Cheryl Lawson, who is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I remember the film from younger. I didn't actually have the DVD in my collection, but I always remember her being like super hot, so that made the rental an easy one at different times. I'm not going to go too much into this one because I think everybody is more familiar with this one than the other releases. So the picture quality, like I said, if you're looking for picture quality, 4 out of 5 on the picture quality. The sound, with those little spotty things, like 2.5 out of 5. Those spotty things really, really annoyed me. And the special features is just a big fat fail. And overall, 2.5, 3 out of 5. The slip cover was limited to 1,000 copies. They said they sold 750 of them. There's another 250 that will be available. God knows what time, God knows what day, who knows? Who knows if it'll be sold individually or they'll just bundle it with their other garbage releases that they need to get rid of. I couldn't tell you. But if you're a fan of the film, it's an upgrade. The picture looks good. Keep the old DVD though if you have it. I actually don't have it. Wish I did. It's something I just never picked up though. But from looking online, it just loses so many special features. I don't know why. So that's it. 4 films. That's region free too if you're interested. Just felt like doing this. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Give me a comment, thumbs up. Follow me on Instagram @GoreForever. We'll do this again sometime. See you.